Hello and welcome to another episode of Historic, where we explore the most bizarre and fascinating events from the past. Today, we are going to talk about the time when Australia's military somehow fought against, and suffered an embarrassing defeat to, flightless birds. This is the story of the Great Emu War of 1932. The Great Emu War was not really a war, but a nuisance wildlife management operation to address the public concern of emus running amok in Western Australia. Emus are large, ostrich-like birds that are native to Australia. They can grow up to 2 meters tall and weigh up to 60 kilograms. They can also run at speeds of up to 50 kilometers per hour and have powerful legs that can kick and injure predators. Emus normally migrate from the inland regions to the coast after their breeding season, which is around October and November. However, in the early 1930s, Western Australia was facing a severe drought that forced many emus to look for food and water elsewhere. They found that the cultivated lands of the farmers, who had cleared the land and built water supplies for their livestock, were good habitats for them. The emus began to invade the farms, especially in the Campion district, located west of Perth. They ate and spoiled the crops, such as wheat and barley, and left large gaps in the fences where rabbits and other pests could enter and cause further damage. The farmers, many of whom were ex-soldiers who had served in World War I, were outraged by the destruction caused by the emus. They asked the government for help, and suggested that the use of machine guns would be the most effective way to deal with the birds. The government agreed to send a military expedition to assist the farmers, with some conditions. The guns were to be used by military personnel only, the transport costs were to be covered by the state government, and the farmers were to provide food, accommodation, and payment for the ammunition. The government also saw the operation as a way of helping the farmers during the Great Depression, as well as a good opportunity for target practice for the soldiers. The operation was led by Major G.P.W. Meredith of the Royal Australian Artillery. They brought 2 machine guns with them. Machine guns were widely used during World War I, and could fire up to 500 rounds per minute. The expedition arrived in Campion on November 2, 1932, and soon encountered a flock of about 50 emus. The soldiers opened fire, but the birds scattered and ran away. Only a few emus were killed, and the rest escaped into the bush. A few days later, the soldiers spotted a larger group of about 1,000 emus near a local dam. They set up an ambush, but the emus outsmarted them. The birds split into smaller groups and ran in different directions, making it hard for the soldiers to aim. The machine gun also jammed, and the emus escaped again. The soldiers continued to chase the emus for several days, but with little success. The emus proved to be very agile and resilient, and could dodge the bullets or survive the wounds. The soldiers only managed to kill about 200 emus out of the 20,000 that were estimated to be in the area. The media soon caught wind of the operation, and mocked the soldiers for their failure to defeat the emus. The operation was dubbed as the Emu War by the press, and the emus were portrayed as cunning and brave adversaries. Some headlines read, "Feathered foes rout the forces, emus still have the whip hand," and "War on the emu." The public also criticized the operation for being a waste of resources and a cruel act of animal cruelty. The government was pressured to end the operation, and on November 8, 1932, the Minister of Defense, Sir George Pearce, ordered the withdrawal of the troops. The emus continued to cause problems for the farmers, who pleaded for the resumption of the military assistance. The government agreed to send the soldiers back in November 13, 1932, with stricter rules of engagement. The soldiers were instructed to report the number of emus killed, wounded, or escaped, and to collect the feathers of the dead birds as proof. The second attempt was slightly more successful than the first. As the soldiers killed about 986 emus in 6 weeks, however, this had minimal impact on the overall emu population, which was estimated to be around 20,000 in the area. The operation was finally called off on December 10, 1932, due to the public outcry and the lack of results. The Great Emu War was a humiliating defeat for the Australian military, and a victory for the emus. The emus showed remarkable survival skills and adaptability, and were able to withstand the firepower of the machine guns. The emus also became more wary of humans, and learn to avoid the farms and the roads. The Great Emu War of 1932 is one of the most bizarre and fascinating events in Australian history. It shows how humans can sometimes underestimate the power and intelligence of nature, and how nature can sometimes fight back. The emus are still plentiful in Western Australia today, and are considered a protected species. Thank you for watching this episode of Historic. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe for more. See you next time.